Good morning. I am Tony Smith with TSI, and today I want to talk to you about your new information system options. First off, I want to give you an overview of your company. My research has found that you guys were founded about 10 years ago. You're founded by a partnership between Timothy Jones and Dolores Garcia. For the most part, you guys specialize in preventive medicine and fitness. You guys also offer a wide range of services that are not available for other providers in the area, which gives you a strategic advantage over most other providers. For an overview, you guys currently have two locations in Bray, California. You guys are also looking to add a new location over by the medical center. Your current staff includes four primary care physicians, one nurse practitioner, four physical therapists, one registered nutritionist, eight nurses, and eight support staff. An overview of your patients. You guys currently have a patient base of over 8,000 patients from 325 different employers. Those 325 different employers are currently using 25 different licensed health providers. So, like I said, you guys are also looking to add a new location near the medical center, and all this also equals a huge room for growth with your company. In doing my research for this project, I did a overview of your system, and what I came up with here is what's known as a data flow diagram. Now, what this does is this helps us figure out exactly how your system works and what all your system actually does. An example of this here would be a patient would call you, as you can see here, and what they would do is if they wanted to request an appointment, it would go here to an appointment request area. And once that was done, it would move over here to a pending claims area, since it would be pending a claim. This would also, after that, it would go to process payment after your services have been done. So this is just a really great way of us figuring out exactly what your system does. So when we're actually designing the new system, we'll actually know exactly what everything does and how it operates properly. Your current system, here's an overview of the current issues that you have with your system. Our research has found that you guys usually spend about 6 hours of overtime per week by your office staff trying to maintain the system and working on errors. That overtime comes out to about $6,500 a year that you're actually spending just trying to maintain the system. The system currently averages about 3 errors per day, which takes your office staff about an hour to complete total, and that equals another almost $4,000 a year in unproductivity. From the looks of it, it also appears that you guys will probably actually need to hire a new full-time clerk position in the next 6 months just to be able to handle all this extra work with your current system. And a new salary position would cost a lot of money. At current rates, it would be about $31,000 a year. The good thing about going to a new system is that doing that would pretty much eliminate all of this extra overtime and extra staff that you would need. So from an overview, you could say potentially almost $42,000 a year just from coming to this new system. So what we need this new system to do now, from talking with you guys, we went through and did a lot of meetings to figure out exactly what you're looking for with the new system, because this is going to have to be customized for you guys and for what you need. One of the things you guys said that you wanted was an automated email and text messaging capabilities. So this is so you guys can remind patients about upcoming appointments, about scheduling appointments, things like that. You're also wanting for data needs to be maintained on employers who participate in the employee wellness programs that you guys offer. This would be necessary so you guys will have a knowledge of who all is actually using that, and also so you can bill out to your employers. You're also wanting to track employee schedules, attendance, vacation time, and paid time off. Now, this is important just from a business perspective because you guys, with your current staff now and with who you're looking to get in the future, if you get that new location, it'll be very important for you guys to keep track of who's working, who's off, in case you need to rotate people between locations, things like that. So it'll be very important for you to have one centralized location where you can find everything and be able to track who's in, who's out, stuff like that. You're also needing a daily appointment list for each provider. What the list would basically show is the basically scheduled appointment times, patient names, services to be performed, including the procedure code and description, things like that. This will help you with figuring out every day what all is going to be done, so you can you can plan accordingly. Another thing you will need is a daily report call list. What this will do is show patients who, basically for use with your reminder system, so you can know who to call to tell them that they have an appointment coming up in the following day. I've actually already created a template of what this this new report list would look like. I can pull it up real quick. Here we go. Now this report, it would show your appointment time, the first name of the person, the last name, their date of birth, the date of their service, which would be the following day. This will also give you their telephone number, their county of residence, and who their current insurance provider is. So this will be something that will be emailed out each morning, so that you guys would know exactly who to call and what order of their appointment time, so you can get everybody reminded in a fairly quick amount of time. Something else you would need is a weekly provider report. What this does is it would list each of the providers and their weekly charges generated, plus a month-to-date and a year-to-date summary. So this will really help you out with your weekly providing, so you'll know what's coming up and how much money you're getting in. Another thing you'll need is a monthly payment statement. Now this is going to be one of your more important items that you'll need. This is basically what you'll be sending out to your patients each month, so it would show them what services has been done in the previous month, what bills they have, if there is any, and things like that. Basically with your new coding system, this would also be implied with that as well, so all your new codings would be in there also. You'll also be getting a weekly insurance company report. This is basically just a report each week you'll be getting, so you'll know in terms of what insurance has been processed through the previous week, so you'll know what's been billed out, what hasn't, what's pending, what's not pending. This will also tie into your next report, which is your monthly claim status report. I've got that one also pre-generated as well. I'll show you that real quick. Here's an overview of it. Basically what it is a report that you would get every month, and basically what it does is it shows you the status of the claim, the first name and last name of the individual, their date of birth, the date that the services was performed, their authorization number, the county of their residence, their current health care provider. It also gives you the invoice for that service and the account number for the provider, and if there's any amount that's currently due with that. So this would be a really great way for you guys to figure out what's coming up, what's currently pending, what's not pending, so you could be able to make sure you're keeping up with what's going in, what's going out, things like that. So the next thing we're going to do here is we're going to talk about the benefits of the proposed system. Now, as I've shown you guys earlier, this would give you a significant cost savings, over $40,000 a year by going this route. This would also give you smoother operation within the system. Like I said, we would be using it and streamlining it according to your guys' needs and how you currently need it to work. So we would make it so you could be able to get to what you need quicker and easier. This better efficiency would also allow you to have lower wait times. All your patients would love to have lower wait times sitting in the waiting room and in the offices waiting for the doctors to come in. So having a smoother system would also give you this better efficiency, which would give you lower wait times, which would give you a more satisfied clientele. Also, this will give you a more user-friendly procedures for patients and your new staff. This system will allow you to have some procedures in place for your users and your staff on how to properly work within the system and how to do daily tasks. So this will be able to be able for you guys to work a lot quicker and a lot easier. So here's some of the stuff that I've worked on so far in my original analysis. This is what's known as a class diagram. Now, you remember the previous data flow that I had shown you, exactly how your system works. Now, this is how we look through the database. So say, for instance, we would look with each patient, we would be able to know what we would be logging with each patient. So here we would know that each patient, we would log their name, their address, their phone number, the date of birth, social security number, and what insurance. And this also shows you some of the stuff that they would actually do. So they would be requesting appointments, coming to appointments, and paying their copays and any additional costs that they would need. They would also be, a patient would be assigned to a doctor, and each doctor, we would just have their name and show here what they actually do. They would be performing medical evaluations, ordering prescriptions, updating medical charts, things like that. So this is a great way for us to see what we'd be logging with each particular person or doctor or each office location or their office staff at each location. So we'll be able to better have an idea of what's going on at each location and with our patients as well. To go along with that, we use what's called a use case diagram. Now this helps us better log exactly what happens with each thing that comes in. So this shows, for instance, like a patient would request an appointment, which would then go to which would go here to the create appointment. Your office staff would create that. Then they would retrieve their medical chart and go through with setting up a doctor's appointment, which the patient would be coming to. This helps us better track and get an idea of how you guys operate each day, so that when we are designing the system, we can have everything, like we said before, have everything run a little bit smoother. It's better operations and better efficiency, because we'll know what each person does, what they do, and how it operates. So the last thing we're going to look at here is what's called a sequence diagram. This kind of follows along with what we looked at previously. It basically shows each step of our process that we had earlier here in the use case. And what this does is it shows us through a sequence diagram where each person is involved. So for instance, the patient is involved pretty much from the beginning where they request an appointment all the way to the time they pretty much pay their copay and their invoices are sent to their insurance. This shows also where the office staff gets involved. They get involved once they receive the request for their appointment, because they're creating an appointment, notifying the patient, retrieving their medical chart, notifying the doctor, things like that. This is a really great way of, like I said, also figuring out how everything flows and how everything works within your system, so we can have that system that works based upon your exact needs and what you need. Here we're going to go through the two different options that we have. The first one is the in-house development option. Now this is going to be a system that will be built and designed by us at TSI. This is going to be built off of a networked commercial package. This will be a little bit of a basic package, and from that we'll build it based upon what you guys need. After the system has been built and deployed, and after we've done a little bit of training and initial testing, we would do some actual staff training. And once the staff has been trained and through initial stage, they should be able to handle those routine maintenance tasks that would need to be done, such as backing up the system, things like that. The lifespan of the system would be at least 5 years. Of course, this also depends on how insurance rates go, how this current systems go, things like that. So the second option is a more pre-packaged software, what we call the vertical software option. Basically how this works is this is a pre-designed system. So it would basically come with pre-designed databases, things like that. So what we would have to do after that is try to customize that database and those reports for you guys and for your needs. So the system would be not as tailored to you guys. So you would be looking at not as smooth of a design as the custom built system. You would also have to pay for support for the system. The lifespan would be pretty much the same as the other system, but like I said, this one wouldn't be as customized to you guys as the other one. But since it was pre-built, it would probably be the initial setup time would be a little bit faster. So now we're going to look at our feasibility analysis. Now what this does is this gives us an overview of the different options. So for our in-house development option, the cost I have here to design it would be almost $17,000. The initial software package would be another $25,000. I've also got the costs here of the staff training and support, that initial training and support that would be initially done after everything was done, and also the hardware and network upgrades that would need to be done to get your system to be able to support this new software package. So you can see here the total for this system to get it out the door is a little over $36,000. The cost for the vertical software option is fairly similar. The only difference is that the labor cost is a little bit less because it's not going to be, like I said, custom built for you guys. But in terms of that, also we would have the actual software package would be a little bit more. We would be spreading that out over the course of 3 years. So that would be, instead of 25, we'd be paying 12 for that. As I said, you would also be having to pay a yearly support fee, and that would be $500 a year. The cost for the staff support training and the hardware and network upgrades, that would be the same. So you can see here that this vertical software option allows you to have a little bit of a quicker setup time, but you would also be paying a little bit more, and like I said, it wouldn't be as custom designed as the in-house option. And finally, we have what your current setup is. So currently, the way this current setup is just showing you, like I said, that your initial payout would be about $41,000 a year that you would be currently paying each year to maintain your current system. So over the course of 5 years, this would be costing you $37,000 a year for that, whereas the cost to maintain your current system would be over $200,000 over those 5 years. So based upon your total costs here, you're really seeing that you'd be saving almost $125,000 over a 5-year lifespan by going with either one of these options. The question that you really have, based upon, you want to look at your return of investment, your payback analysis. So you'd be paying this back, the initial cost, you'd be making that back within a year. So it really comes down to what you guys are looking for. Like I said, you can go with an in-house development option that would allow you to have a more customized setup, or you could go with a more easier setup that would be not exactly tailored to your system. Like I said, I will be here to help you guys and to get you to where you need to go, answer any questions that you might have. So that's an overview of our options. I'll take this time now to answer any questions that you have, but I know this will take some time for us to figure out and get you the option that you want. But like I said, I'm always here to answer any questions that you have. And thank you very much for your time.